I'll call this September 9th Board of Zoning Appeals meeting to order. Item number 2 is Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, David, if you would.
Sure. Pete Saunders, Vicky Gushrowski,
Present.
Mark Danielson, Brian Cager,
Present.
Nate Laux.
Present.
3 present.
Approval of minutes.
Motion to approve?
I'll second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item number 5 is use variance 2502 petition. Mr. Petitioner, step forward. Thank you. Can you state your name and address for the record?
Good evening. My name is James Huss. I'm with DVG Team. My business address is 1155 Troutwine Road in Crown Point, Indiana. I am speaking here tonight on behalf of the LaPorte Community Federal Credit Union at 1304 Jefferson Street. Similar to Plan Commission presentation, I have some handouts if you wouldn't mind me distributing very briefly.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Much of the materials that were just handed out are similar or identical to what I believe has been distributed previously that I submitted to David as we were corresponding, getting ready for this meeting. I have a few semi-prepared remarks, but I will add that this property at 1304 Jefferson Avenue is item 5 and 6 on the agenda, so it's, if you wouldn't mind, it'd be a little combined, if that's all right with everybody. Okay, very good. So first, I've already stated my name. Also here tonight with me are Robbie Masterson, President of LaPorte Community Federal Credit Union, some other board and staff members, and Tim Weber of Ton and Blank Construction, who will be performing improvements to the site pending a positive decision tonight. For those that do not know, the design team have been working with city staff on improvements to the credit union's branch at 1304 Jefferson Avenue, otherwise known as the southwest corner of Jefferson Street and Tyler Street. This is just outside the city's central business district. There are some illustrations on the zoning map in the packets that were just distributed. As of a site review meeting held with city staff on August 20th, the project and plans otherwise satisfy staff. As concisely as possible, what we're requesting tonight is related to a project that entails the stage construction of a new branch office at this same location with the eventual demolition of the existing structure that's there, and at completion, the project will represent a complete property corner to property corner tear down and modernization of the property. Through the process of working with city and staff, staff recommended that some small items be cleaned up, which is why we're here before you tonight, asking to codify a use variance or legalizing what is currently a non-conforming use, and 3 minor development variances that we're requesting. And before I get into any detail on the variances we're requesting, I'm very confident to say that what we're requesting is either equivalent to any variances that, or non-conforming variances that are in place today, or demonstrable improvements over what exists today. So first and foremost, item 5 on the agenda, a use variance is required anytime a use exists on a lot. A use variance is required anytime there's a use on a property that is not allowed on a lot that has a zoning that doesn't allow it. In the case of this property at 1304 Jefferson, the property is zoned R1C, which is a residential district. including in your packet is a zoning map showing that this credit union and branch sits on a transition zone between B2, CBD1, and R1C districts. Whether there was some blanket rezoning in the area in the past, I'm not quite sure of, but the credit union currently exists as a legal non-conforming use on the lot. So by requesting and hopefully receiving this use variance, we will remove that tag, make their existence there completely above board. And obviously, of course, going through this use variance process is the proper channel for consistency for any other development. Everything should be above board. But in the simplest terms, the use variance we're requesting is simply so that the credit union may continue to provide at this location the same operations, drive-through access, ATM access that they do today. So that is my remarks in related to item 5. The 3 development variances are, at least in my opinion, very minor. The first of which is a setback variance. An R1C lot requires a 25-foot front yard setback, which is obviously traditionally for a smaller residential structure. We are proposing a 9.4-foot setback along Tyler Street. We are requesting that for a couple reasons. One, the parcel size of only ½ acres is obviously small for a commercial use. Full setback compliance would either preclude drive-through operations, which they provide today, or hinder site circulation, possibly creates inability to meet parking. And in your packets is also a site plan. We also selected this specific setback to orientate the building in line with their primary parking area along Tyler Street and otherwise improve site aesthetics. I would also note I included an illustration with some tags on the existing property, and to show that the building today provides no setback from the alleyway and only about a 3-foot setback to Jefferson. So that's kind of where I hearken back to. We believe that the variances requested today are improvements over the site as it sits today. The second variance we are requesting is related to buffer zones. The city requires buffer zones to be provided when a commercial use, not necessarily zoning, but a commercial use abuts a residential use. The neighboring parcel to the southeast is still a single-family home, and you will see on our site plan, as it does today, our parking does extend more or less to that property boundary. City code states that buffer zones can be provided in a number of ways, one of them being a 20-foot vegetative buffer, or just a yard, a 3-foot tall berm, or an 8-foot wall or fence. Now, while it's not very clearly illustrated on this site plan, there is an existing fence constructed by the constructed by the credit union in approximately 2009 when a home was demolished and the lot was expanded. Albeit that site is not 8 feet in height. It should know that that fence and its installation on the property line was above board with the property owner, so we are simply requesting this variance to allow the fence that is already there today and will remain after construction to continue to serve as that satisfaction of that buffer requirement. Our final variance we are requesting is related to refuse enclosure. City standards dictate that refuse enclosures, waste receptacles, whatever terminology you'd like to use, be located as far as possible, but no closer than 20 feet from a residential district, which is our southeast neighbor. You'll see we do have a refuse enclosure in what would be the south-southwest corner of the building, about 2 feet from the property line. As we touched on earlier, as far as the site acreage, limited acreage creates an inability to say hide a dumpster enclosure closer to the building without hampering vehicle circulation or parking or what have you. There's very limited flexibility when you're only dealing with a ½ acre. I would also note that banks specifically, or credit unions, oftentimes they even have smaller enclosures than traditional commercial operations, say a fast food, and their waste they generate is neither plentiful or odorous. So that's a pro in maybe supporting less of a buffer. And in further support of hopefully receiving these variances, in your handouts are illustrations of the proposed building, the site plan, and the landscaping plan. I will, again, focusing on improvements in every way to the property as it exists today. The current property is fully built out. It's asphalt wall to wall. We've provided a very extensive landscaping plan in the green space areas that we are creating that do not exist today on the property. That concludes my prepared remarks. Included in the packet are findings of facts, should you choose to reference it. I appreciate your time and your attention, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. David, if you'd like to.
Yeah, so really briefly, I'll just mention, just for the record, item number 5, use variance is 25-02. Petition is to allow bank credit union with drive-through operations in the R1C single-family residential district. And item 6 together, so we're treating both of these together. Item 6 is variance of development standards 25-08. Petition is to reduce the minimum front yard building setback from 25 feet to 9 feet on Tyler Street. The code reference is 4.04 in the residential section there. The second part is to reduce the minimum buffer zone landscaping from adjacent residential from 10 feet to 0 feet. Code reference is section 17.02, parentheses C. And number 3 is to allow waste receptacle closer than 20 feet from an adjacent residential district. Code reference section 17.05, parentheses B. I won't go through the site plan as Mr. Hoos has mentioned all of the variances that are being requested, as well as kind of the background on the site and the proposed development itself. So I'm just going to touch on just kind of the site surroundings, go through some of the photos that I took of the site. As you can see, the existing bank is there. There's the house to the south of the subject property where the bank sits today. Again, this is just showing from Jefferson Avenue, the bank right there on the alley line, to the what would be to the southwest, and Jefferson to the north, right on the property line as it is today, or really close to the property line. As you can see, the sidewalk there on Jefferson. This is the fence that the petitioner has mentioned, the black metal fence remaining to stay after development, and keeping that in lieu of the minimum 10-foot landscaping that they're requesting. This is just showing the multifamily property across Tyler Street, which is within the, as the petitioner has mentioned, the Central Business District 1. Which is allowed to the east of Tyler Street, and then the property that is the bank and credit union to the west of Tyler Street in the R1C single-family residential district. Just showing the houses to the immediate south of the bank towards First Street there, and then the existing auto repair business, Cannon, or more commonly known as Cannons, on the north of the bank there, which is also on property that's zoned R1C single-family residential district, but as is achieved through zoning and all that variances and such. And then this is just showing more of the site surroundings to the north along Tyler Street, looking towards Lincoln Way, the gas station offices there. And so staff does find that both the use variance and the variance of development standards petitions meet the goals and policies of the countywide land development plan and the goals objectives of the zoning ordinance. So staff does recommend approval of use variance 25-02 and variance of development standards 25-08 petition. And I'll answer any questions if you have them.
Thank you. At this time, I'll open it up for public comment. Is there any public comment?
I will be brief. I promise you're probably sick of hearing from me tonight. Bert Cook, Executive Director of the LaPorte Economic Advancement Partnership. I just want to add one thing to David's report. I appreciate that. The group did, obviously these are challenging developments when you're looking at infill and you have a long-established business in the area in the center portion of our city, but really appreciated the fact that The group, DVG, Ton and Blank, met with the city as part of the site review process. Thought that was a great dialogue and discussion about the development plans, and that's always a good opportunity for us as department heads on the city to kind of weigh in on the plans and maybe make some adjustments. So just wanted to acknowledge that we appreciate that as part of this process, have a lot of confidence in DVG and Ton and Blank, which we've had great success on other projects, and appreciate you allowing me to share that this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other comment? Hearing none, I'll close that portion of public comment. Staff, do we have any questions for petitioner? Or would you like to make a motion on this?
Now, did you say we can vote on both of these together, or they have to be separate together? I'll make a motion to approve both the use variance and the variance of the developmental standards.
Yeah, I'll second that with a comment. I think for all of our residents over there, they're going to appreciate the improvements, especially the green improvements with the Chessie Trail coming through there. Candace does a great job. This is an exciting project.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I'd like to note that the Plan Commission never gets clapping.
Yeah, what is that?
Welcome to the better team, Vicki.
Item 7 is old business. Item 8 is new business. Any other business? Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.